Good morning, YouTube. Warbles on a lot here. About to commence pyrolysis run number 4. Probably the main change is I have altered the angle of the dangle in order to get the bottom of the can closer to the actual thermal focus. Now I can see I've got it still just a little bit too high there according to this, but we'll see how we go. Also, I've done a particularly neat job on sealing the heat leaks as well as cleaning the glass bottle. So 26 minutes past 10 and we'll start her up. Right, in business we are. And the first of the plume has commenced to flow into the jar. Oh yes, look at that. There's a better view. I think this may be going better than the last attempt. Just on the times. Yeah, we've got a few little wisps. There we go. I haven't yet weighed this charge, but I split it and packed it rather carefully. Oh yes, container completely full of moderately dense white gas. Had a comment on the thread of the last video, somebody suggested I use a glass bottle. I'm pretty sure the fluctuations in temperature caused by wind blowing in gusts of cold air would smash any glass bottle I tried to use. Yeah, we got an actual smoky going there. Burnt the lamp black off the bottom of the centre of the tin, so I guess I've got it focused pretty well today. 6 minutes after startup. Something's happening there inside the can, eh? Okay. Been running for 15 minutes, producing a steady stream of vapour. The glass is full of fog and quite a lot of tars precipitating out on the bottom, much faster than happened last time. Mind you, this wood came out of a closed tin that spent last night outside, and the temperature last night got down to 5 degrees, so it was cold wood that hadn't been sitting in the sun, whereas the previous run, I think I showed the wood had been preheated to 34 degrees before it went into the can. And having weighed it up, there's 90.8 grams of wood stacked vertically, and then there's another 17.7 grams stacked horizontally on top of that. So this run is 108.5 grams, and it's going a lot better than the previous run did, presumably mainly due to the slightly better angulation and better precision with which the bottom of the canister approaches the thermal focus of the dish, as well as the better insulation. But this one is certainly going better. I think we're about to drop a drip. I think we missed it. Okay, so half an hour after starting it. Oh, where are we? There we go. Half an hour after startup, and there's quite a lot of water in the bottom of the glass compared to the previous run. Still outgassing. Not burning, but outgassing. Now here's the thing. If you look really carefully and really closely, you can just barely see the refraction of the light going through the biscuit of really, really hot air underneath the pyrolysis canister. And there's a bigger or smaller biscuit of hot air built up there, depending on how strong the wind is and how particularly well aligned the dish is with the sun. But with the naked eye, I can see there's probably a 5mm layer of air around the bottom of the canister at the moment, perhaps as much as 10. We're just coming up to an hour since beginning this experiment, or this fourth run of the experiment. And as you can see, there's quite a layer of water in there with tar floating on top. And yeah, we've still got a glass jar full of milkiness. So, pyrolysis run number 4 continues with maybe a 5 to 10mm layer of hot air around the can. Okay, and we're at the 2-hour mark. Still got a milky glass. By the way, that's a 200ml jam jar. So I would be guessing we've got somewhere between 20 and 30 millilitres of water and between 1 and 5 millilitres of tar in the condensate after 2 hours of pumping about half a horsepower into about half a litre of canister with about 100 grams of radiata pine. Like this sort of a stuff, which was at probably 8 or 10 degrees Celsius when it went into the can. And now there's got to be 25 or 30 grams just worth of water in the condensate. So today's run is going remarkably well. Herewith you see the benefits of paying attention to small details, like getting the bottom of the can as close as you possibly can to the thermal focal plane of the dish, and sealing up all the air leaks in the tea cosy. But we're certainly having an effect. Be very interesting to see what the charge weighs at the end of the day. So here we are at the 3-hour mark. Still got that biscuit of really hot air underneath the gasifier canister. Still got a milky glass of fumes, not as dense as it was. Quite an impressive amount of condensate has precipitated out. You can sort of clearly see the tar floating on top of the water. And once again, the wallabies are interested in the experiment. As you can see. 2 o'clock, first bits of shadow on the dish. And with this much wind, the day's run is just about done. However, we'll keep going till it's over. Shadow on the dish after a 4-hour run. A lot of condensation on the top of the glass. Fair bit of water with tar floating on top. Surprisingly, we've still got concentrated sunlight on the bottom of the canister, as you can see there, which is 88.7, 89, 90 degrees. So with enough shadow to not quite blank out the disc, we'll let it run for a bit. 2:45 in the afternoon, and I just can't resist this shot. You can see the bottom of the gasifier canister glowing in the reflected sunlight. The dish casts a shadow, so it reflects heat and light and energy, even late in the day. And at 17 minutes past 4, as the sun has come under the trees, there's concentrated sunlight on the bottom of the can again. So in 7 minutes, i.e. at 6 hours, I'll stop this. Okay, that's 6 hours. So, we turn it out of the sun, leaving the tar inside, 18 millilitres of water. And now, right, so here's the story. 108.5 grams of wood became 80.8 grams of carbonised wood, which is 27.7 grams lighter, which is 25.5%, which, as far as I can see, having done the figures a couple of times, gives me 27.7 grams of mass reduction, or 25.5%. Strangely, 19 mils of water which is, there you go, correct that, 19 mils of water, so 8.7 grams outgassed, 8.01% of the charge became wood gas.